Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm Asherz and this is
Kenzie,
Kenzie. Welcome back again.
thanks.
It's been 2 weeks.
I
Isn't that
know.
what a fortnight is? Isn't a fortnight 2 weeks? Maybe I'm
I
wrong
don't
about
know,
that.
but we should start calling it a fortnight because that sounds cooler than 2 weeks.
Sounds really cool. I feel like I should know this. Um our Men in Black says no, Fortnite is a video game. I wouldn't know. I'm like I said, I told you earlier specifically. I'm at someone's grandma now, so I'm too old
Yes,
to know.
that's hilarious.
Um. Anyway, how have you been? What's new?
Not a whole lot. I have a really big jewelry event coming up in less than 2 weeks, so basically I've been spending all my free time working on this. I've made close to 100 new pieces of jewelry for this 3 day event out in the woods camping. It's going to be
Ooh.
so fun. I'm really excited. I'm a little bit stressed out. If you guys live in DFW, come to Flow Fair in Cleburne, Texas, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, and buy my jewelry.
Yeah, people
um,
should.
yeah, it's been a lot of work. I just finished a couple days ago. I made some new rotating display stands for my earrings, which
Ooh,
I am
nice.
very proud of because I made them all by hand. Stained the wood myself. I my boyfriend helped me fine tune some details, but otherwise I did all of it by myself. So I'm pretty proud of how they came out. I have a couple more things I have to finish up, and then I'll be good. And it's a little over, not this weekend, but next weekend. So pretty close.
Yeah, it's always well. You've been doing those there, haven't you? I mean, you're kind of getting into that scene since you've moved there.
I mean, actually, this is my first one since I've moved to Texas.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
hard to get into. Like back home, I was just part of the oddity circuit already because I
right,
started my jewelry business in 2018, so I had plenty of time to kind of get to know the right people, get into the right spots. But moving to Texas, it's like I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. I don't know any events, like any places. Whereas like back home, it was like even if I don't know the people, I knew of the people, or like you had a
right.
friend of a friend or something. But like down here, it's like completely fresh slate. You start over completely. So it's been, and to be fair, I haven't put that much effort into it. I've been kind
Right.
of, you know, eventually I'll jump back into this, blah blah blah. But this is my first one. Of course, for my first one, I was like, a 3 day event. That's perfect. Except that's not
Just
like,
right. Jump all the way into it. Why not?
yeah,
You know.
seriously, I jumped right in the deep end, but I think it'll be good. I'm excited. Um, I've made a lot of really, really, really cool pieces in the last couple of months trying to prepare for it. So I am definitely really excited to like put those out there and see how they do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. How about you? What are
Is
you
it
up to?
well? A bunch of nothing really. Just focusing on myself and my health and
Mm-hmm.
getting my life together. So I did Frogman Festival not last weekend, the weekend before. We kind of talked about that a little bit on the show, but like the
Mm-hmm.
days right after, like I fucking struggled to like
Yeah.
recover.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, I can't, I can't live like this anymore. So, well, I mean, it was pretty bad. I was having like really bad heart palpitations, and I'm like, what
Dang.
is and like, so the week right before I went to go get my depot shot. I get it every 3 months and they'll take my blood pressure or whatever, and my blood pressure was like 160 over like 97,
Is that
which
high?
is
Is
like
that bad?
crazy high. Yeah, your regular
Okay.
blood pressure should be 120 over 80, so it's
Okay.
really high.
Yeah, that's a
So
little out of whack.
oh, okay. And they're like, I already have like medical anxiety. So when I go usually
Yeah.
and they take your blood pressure up front, it's usually kind of high for me, but it's never been that high. And I'd noticed that it had been high like that for like months. It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since I started insulin, back when I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, insulin has made me gain like 80 pounds. And that has
Damn.
been really rough. And like my endocrinologist, she's just like, yeah, that's just kind of what it does.
That
And she's just like,
sucks.
right, that's just kind of normal when you're on insulin. Insulin will just like literally take everything that you process and hold on to it. And then your body like also stops making certain hormones in order to even, process things regularly. And anyway, I feel like shit all the
Damn.
time. That's
Yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry.
it's, I mean, I'm used to it. It's my baseline now, right? I feel
Yeah.
terrible constantly. But right now I'm like, okay, so like I said, I go to Frogman, I come back home. I'm like exhausted. I can't
Yeah.
breathe. I can't do anything. And I go to my regular doctor and I'm like, look, I can't live like this anymore. And she's like, I don't blame you. Let's fix it. And so now I'm finally kind of on this track of like, let's get this together. So I saw her. I got to go to my other doctor and start taking the hormones that I'm missing out on. So that way I can,
Yeah.
maybe start processing some of this weight. And, I was telling her, I was like, for my job, I'm in the woods. Like I'm hiking. I'm looking for fucking Bigfoot. I can't do that if I can't
Yeah.
breathe.
No,
And my
that's
knees
very
are
fair.
buckling,
Yeah.
you know. And they're like, okay, yeah, we understand. So now my goal is to be able to, do that again by the time summer hits. So we'll
Hell yeah. That's a good goal.
see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I've been doing that. I've been focusing a lot on me and, me physically and mentally, which, I've kind of been doing a lot of anyway for like the past couple of months.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere now. So,
Good.
um,
That's awesome. That's such a good feeling.
right. It's
You
not a
finally
bad
start to
thing.
see the progress that you've been putting all the work in for.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not bad news. It's just a shift. It's good actually. Now there's
Yeah.
like an answer, so
Yeah. No, I definitely
we can
understand that.
we can get there. Cuz even like, I try to explain it to people. Some people are like whenever you mention like your health, you'll have like 100,000 people that want to make suggestions and that's great, guys. Thanks,
Yeah.
but it ain't working. So like I,
Yeah.
I had all my teeth pulled last year like and I literally was on an all liquid diet, and I'm still gaining weight and it's like this doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. So like I
But
said, now I
also,
feel like I
like,
finally have answers. It's nice.
yeah. You can gain weight from literally anything. Like I went back on
Anything, yeah.
hormonal birth control last year and gained like 40 pounds. Like over
It's
the course
crazy, yeah.
of like a couple months. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well,
Great,
what
great.
do I do now?" I
Yeah,
buy new
it's
pants. That's what I do.
yep. Well, and that was the thing about it. So like when I was diagnosed, at that point in my life, I had lost about 130 pounds completely on my own.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that I have had an eating disorder since I was about 11 years old.
Yeah.
So my weight was always back and forth between, okay, now I'm getting treatment and I'm gaining weight. So I'm gaining weight now and I know how to lose it, right? Go back to not
Yeah.
eating anything.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. Well, after in like my early 20s, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to get my metabolism back on track. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to lose weight the right way. And I did.
Hell yeah.
And it wasn't perfect. I wasn't quite where I wanted to be yet, but then that's when I got diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic and everything just kind of
Yeah.
went to shit again. So I'm like, what is
It's like a
happening?
wrench in your plan.
It was. And so now I'm, kind of I didn't gain back 130 pounds, right? I only gained back 80. I'm good. I can manage. I've done it
Yeah.
before. It's not like I can't do it again. So it's
It's just
not that
annoying that you have to do
devastating.
it again.
Well, right. So that's what I was going to say is that like I had been doing so well for so many years and had dropped this weight the correct way, which is slowly, right? You're not supposed to lose a bunch of weight real fast.
Yeah.
And so I got rid of all my fat people clothes.
Oh, and now you need them again.
Now I need them. And I'm like, ugh, and it sucks because now I'm like trying to, build my wardrobe back up, but not too much because I'm not trying to be comfortable with it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I have that problem legitimately constantly because my weight fluctuates so much.
Right.
Like, and every time I bring it up to my doctor, she's like, "Yeah, that's totally normal." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Are you sure about
Right,
that?"
because I hate this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I have to buy new pants every like 6 weeks, and then they don't fit me, and then all of a sudden my old pants fit me all and again, and I'm just like, okay, can I have one pair of pants that just fits all the time, please?
Yeah,
It's
I want to
fucking
be one of those people.
annoying.
Like, oh yeah, I bought these pants 3 years ago. Like I would
Like,
never be that
okay,
person.
what's it like to be the chosen one? The fuck? Like,
Right.
yeah,
So
I that's like where I'm at all the time. Like, you can basically tell like where I'm at mentally by whether or not I've mentioned that I need new pants. Because once I start needing new pants again, that's when I'm like, okay, we're taking a nose.
got to get my shit together now. It's
Also,
time.
like,
Yeah.
you know how hard it is to buy pants as a woman.
Oh yeah. Any
It's
clothes,
fucking it's
period.
infuriating.
It's ridiculous.
So
Yep.
having to do
It's
that
ridiculous.
semi regularly because my weight, like I'll gain 20 pounds and then drop 15 and
Yeah.
then drop 10 and gain, 12. And I'm like, can I just stay one? Can I just stay one?
just
I just
I
want to stay
just
one.
right. I really like that one outfit. I'd like
I
to
just
wear it again. Fuck.
yeah.
You know? No, I get it. And even if you are like one weight for a long time, like just because you're that one weight, it doesn't mean that you were that one size across the board for all the
Oh,
clothes that you're
definitely
trying to
not.
shop for. And
Oh my
it's
god.
insane, and trying to, and I guess people, we have more male viewers. I know, listen to the show, but the people hear it all the time. Yeah, our clothes are not consistent. Like they're just not.
No, they're
And on
definitely
top
not.
of that, who the fuck is selling two-piece outfits? You know what I mean? Like you can go and buy
Yeah.
like a two-piece pajama set. My top is not the same size as my bottom. Hello. And I'm
No,
so
definitely
annoyed
not.
by that.
No,
Like,
seriously, because I'm like, I get the appeal of selling it as a two piece because you can, I don't know, like save money, I guess.
I
But
guess.
who the fuck can wear that? Nobody, because we're all shaped like peas or
Right.
bees.
Or
Nobody,
whatever.
no one has the body for that.
It's like, yeah, right, who the fuck is wearing the same top and bottom size? It ain't me. It's not I. And I would like a
Yeah,
matching pajama set, god damn it,
yeah.
And they just don't make them for people like me. Okay.
We'll have to learn how to sew and make our own. That's actually on my New Year's bingo card is
Learn how
to
to
learn how to
sew.
sew. Yeah, I want to learn how to sew clothes, which I could do pretty easily, and I'm kind of just trying to get my jewelry event out of the way before I pick up a new hobby.
Yeah.
But Sam's mom sews, and she does like quilts, and she knows how to like hem clothes and like adjust them and stuff. So I was gonna just maybe ask her if she'd teach me how to sew. So I maybe I can make you a pajama set.
Yeah, let me know. I will buy one because I need one, so that actually fits, fuck. But yeah, anyway, so I've just been doing a lot of, inward stuff. And let me tell you guys something. Taking care of your health is really important.
Yes.
And, I want to be able to do the things that I love, but I can't because I put off doing my health, taking care of my health. And I know everybody does that. And why? You
Yeah.
know?
Health
Let's
needs to be
stop
number
doing that.
one.
Right. Let's stop doing Let's take care of ourselves. So that way, we can enjoy things like Frogman Festival, or we can enjoy a nice hike looking for Bigfoot, or whatever it is that your little heart desires. Take care of your damn selves. This is a message from me, and you will listen because I said it. So
And you gotta put it on a t-shirt.
I should put it on a t-shirt.
Spread
I'll
it
put
around the world.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says "Doing it for Asherz," and then you wear it when you go to the doctors, or you go to the therapist, or you go to whatever medical thing you have.
The dentist.
The dentist,
When you
right?
buy organic groceries.
Yeah,
Really
anytime you're
anything. You go for a walk, you take the stairs instead of the elevator. There you go.
yes, you can wear your "Doing it for Asherz" shirt and take a picture and send it to me. Let me know what you're doing, and I will praise you because I know that as somebody that likes praise, also that's important too. So
Some positive reinforcement.
we'll get healthy together.
Yes.
Um, so anyway, that's been my thing. I don't have any events until June, and so now I'm just trying to focus on like my work and my research and things like that as well. I have so many things that I'm doing small time. I made like a little silly post on Twitter. I'm like, what are things that I'm doing that people don't really know that I'm doing? And
Yeah. I
I
saw
put it
that.
out there. Yeah, and it's just little stuff. My book, it's almost done. It's almost done. I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
And, like, what's even crazier is, like, I could clear my schedule for the week and sit down and finish it, and I won't
Yeah.
do that because I'm
Yeah.
irresponsible.
Well,
No, it's
also
not
just
that.
yeah.
It's just, well, having multiple projects at once. I mean, you just kind of work a little bit on each thing at a time, and
Yeah, eventually you
you
get it
know,
all done.
right. And so, but it's, I mean, then it's out of my hands. I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish this book first. Then I'm going to do stuff like find someone to write the foreword. Then I'm going to have someone do the artwork. I haven't done
Yeah.
any of that yet. Um, and then let a couple people, kind of read and copy edit and go from there. So it's just, even though the book itself is almost written, it's not done.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing. And then I've been doing a lot of like trying to contact aliens, which is interesting.
Love that.
Um, yeah, trying to figure out different means of trying to contact alien life using various methods. I've kind of been looking into like necromancy and how we could probably utilize that to talk to aliens.
Yeah.
No luck yet, but it is interesting. I'd like to look into CE5, but everybody
Hmm.
I've talked to who's like into that is like giving me this ominous warning. Okay. So CE5 contact, for people that don't know, it was popularized by what's his fucking name? Oh my god, Stephen Greer. And I hate that guy. And I'll say that up front. Sorry if you're a Stephen Greer supporter, but I'm not. Because he capitalizes off of all this. Like, you can't just learn CE5. Like, you have to buy his books and you have to buy all
Oh,
this shit
boo.
from him. Right. It's like, I can talk to aliens, but I'm not gonna let you do it unless you pay me. Um,
Also,
I
like,
promise.
that's
When I
fucking.
figure it out, you guys will get it for free.
Yeah, hell yeah, because that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure the
Um,
aliens would probably not appreciate that you're doing that too,
right.
sir.
That's what as soon as I contact them, I'm telling on him. And
Yeah, and they're gonna fucking come down and they're gonna man in black neuralize his brain.
they're going to put it in his butt.
Yeah.
And good for them.
And then they're gonna
You know?
charge him to reverse
Yeah. They'll handle him. But like I said, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm like, do you know what this motherfucker's doing with your guys' information? But anyway, CE5, it's like a kind of form of like meditate. It's like uses meditation and like lights that you project into the sky that will call UFOs to you. It's so fucking weird.
Interesting. I actually have
But
never heard of that before.
yeah, it is really interesting. I had heard about it a couple years ago. Actually, because there is somebody that I know who was like, "Hey, I have this flashlight and I can flash it into the sky, and this UFO will like interact with it." Like, what are you talking
Oh,
about? Right?
cool.
And
Well, I
like,
kind of love that though.
right, they're like, I'll show you. So they did, and sure enough, there's a light in the sky. They start flashing this flash. It just looks like a star, and
Yeah,
sure as shit, it starts fucking moving. And I'm like, okay, this
I'm
is
gonna start doing that.
groovy. You should. Some people get like laser pointers and stuff. You're not supposed to, don't like, it's illegal to like point them in the sky, but um, do crime or whatever at your own discretion.
Yeah.
It's up to you. I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm also not telling you not to do it. It's just not my responsibility if you do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
it is interesting, but I know other people who use this method. And like I said, I've talked to them about it. I had one person, I'm not going to say who it is, but I will say that she has been on the show before, who kind of like freaked out because she went out and did like a CE5 episode, a CE5 thing,
Yeah.
and it like fucked with her. And I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what she saw. I just know she made some weird ominous Facebook post and was like, I'm never fucking with that shit ever again. And
Yeah.
and like before she was always like all about talking about aliens and stuff, and then she doesn't talk about it now.
That's crazy because I've definitely, like, we've gone up and done some, really interesting, like, alien summoning rituals and stuff and been, like, massively fucked with by whatever we were talking to.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember leaving and being like, that was fucking sick. I hope that happens again.
Right.
Because but also it wasn't like, I mean, that can go a thousand different directions. So, we
Well,
were
sure.
we were laughing. We were like, this is funny. Like, whatever's talking to us is like massively unhinged, and it's kind of entertaining. But
Yeah.
then, I've had some encounters doing, I've done paranormal investigation for a good majority of my life. definitely had some encounters on that side of it where it's like, oh, that makes me never want to do that again. That was fucking scary.
Right.
So I can kind
Yeah.
of see both sides, but yeah, I mean, all the alien summoning stuff I've ever done has always resulted in like the funniest shit. And you're like, you know what? If you guys just came down here, we could be friends. We could be pals.
Right. Let's chit chat, you know? Yeah, I don't, well, and other people I've had are like other researchers, investigators, and things in the field. And,
Yeah,
they know what I do. They know how weird I like to get.
yeah,
And even they're like, be careful. Some things, once you know it, you can't unknow it. And I'm like, fucking secrets. That just makes me even more curious. Like,
yeah.
don't say that to me.
Seriously, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't just say shit like that because obviously, like now you're gonna do it.
Right. Like, I want to know.
You
Like,
have to know.
that's why I do this, right? It's because I
Maybe
want to
that's the
know.
whole point. Maybe they were like trying to like they were like, oh well,
Encourage me.
if we tell her the real truth, it's kind of boring and she won't really like it. So if we say something weird and like fucking mysterious, then maybe she'll actually do it.
I'll be so mad. I'll make contact with aliens just to find out it's just fucking white guys from the future. I'd be so fucking disappointed.
White men from the future. It was like a
Yeah,
literal nightmare.
right. Like, oh great. This
Yeah.
is this is it. Um
Wow.
yeah, it is so,
I think that really
So
would be the most disappointing
right. You'd
thing
be like,
to
really?
find out. Yeah.
Well, and
Like,
that's where I got started into it, was because of a alien white man entered cold. Well, he's not really white actually. He's kind of like he's got olive skin. I don't know what that means.
yeah.
I don't want to assume his race. Well, he's Lanulosian, I think is what they go by,
Yeah.
but so I don't know if that's considered white man. I don't think so.
He's
But
got the energy of a white man though.
he does. Yeah, he's definitely
He's
got
got
white
big
guy
white dude
energy.
energy.
Right. So, I mean, that was kind of the centerpiece. I'm like, okay, well, how do I contact this fucking guy? And that's why I started talking with Tanya Derenbergers, because guess what? That's the only person you can talk to get the injured. Well, she died. So now
Yeah.
what? And that's kind of my focal point of all this, is that I do kind of have a foot in the door somewhere, because according to Tanya, Indrid knew who I was.
Yeah.
So okay, this motherfucker's out there in space. He knows about me. I know about him. How can we connect? How can I connect to him and let him know, like, let's talk?
You gotta find him on
Um,
Facebook.
I do. That's a
Facebook.
good
You
idea.
have to find him on Spacebook.
Facebook. Stop. He's got to
Don't
be
you
out there, right?
Mark Zuckerberg has like a fucking like dark web Facebook called Spacebook to interact with all his fucking lizard people alien friends.
It's got to be a thing, right?
Yeah, you just gotta
Um,
hack into it and then you can make your own page and y'all all these aliens that you've been talking to or trying to talk to will start popping into your inbox. It'll be
God, and
great.
here I was trying to use primitive bullshit like meditation and lights in the sky. It's so
Yeah.
easy. I just got to hack into Facebook and
Yeah.
get on there.
I think it'd be super easy.
So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of that stuff lately, and I just never
That's
talk
cool.
about that stuff. And I don't
Yeah.
know why. I guess it's because it's not complete, and I just feel like there's nothing to like. I don't know. To everybody else, it's cool, right? But like to me, this is my life every day.
Well, and also I can understand when it's like you aren't necessarily getting the results that you set out for right away. So you're just like, well, I'm just doing it. Nothing's happening, but I'm doing it.
Yeah,
It's like, why would you
right,
talk about that?
right. I'm doing this thing, but I don't have anything to share.
Yeah, I'm just doing it.
Maybe
Nothing's
later,
happening, but
you know.
exactly, yeah.
And so, until there's really anything to share about it, but back in our clubhouse days, I'm sure you remember back when we used
Oh,
to hang out and
yes.
chit chat. I would talk about all this stuff that I'm doing, and everybody's like, "I had no idea you were doing this. I had no idea you were doing that." Well, nobody ever knew because I never said anything, and unless it
Yeah.
just kind of came up in conversation. Because, like you said, there's no results. Why am I?
Yeah.
What's the point? Um, so I'm trying to do a little bit more of like being a little bit more transparent about the things that I'm doing, because I don't know. I feel like I have to. I feel like I'm not cool
Yeah.
and relevant anymore unless I do. So, Just full transparency, I guess, is kind of my go-to here. So I am doing stuff. It's just beyond your feeble mind, so I can't talk about it all the time. You know. Anyway, let's get in. You want some news? Do you want to talk about some
Yeah,
news?
yeah. Do we have any updates on the cow or the finger?
You know what? No updates on either. I mean, the cow was moved. I guess I don't know
Okay.
if I told you that part. But he was moved, and there was a memorial in his place. There's now a memorial sitting on 675.
Oh, that's nice. I
um,
feel like I think you told
for the
me that.
cow.
I can't remember for sure, but that
Yeah, I
sounds
may have.
familiar.
But the finger's never been identified. Like that hasn't. There's been
How
nothing
long
new
does
there.
that stuff take? Like, I have a very skewed perception of what like forensic testing is because I grew up watching like CSI, like Criminal Minds and
Sure.
like crime shows. So like I cannot imagine that they just automatically can like put it on a machine and it's like this is this person,
It pops
you
up.
know? Like I can't
Yeah.
imagine it's like that. So I don't do you know how long that stuff actually takes? Like is it reasonable to think that they would have found out who it could be by now or is it just like
Um,
maybe too foregone?
it just depends. Fingerprints are pretty quick. They know that because they'll like when you're arrested for something, if you're not honest about your identity, they can run your fingerprints and then I think it's like
Yeah.
within 24 hours know, who you are if
Yeah.
you're with anybody. DNA takes a little bit longer. I don't know if you've ever done like one of those like 23andMe kits or whatever.
I have not,
Um,
no.
but they take about anywhere from like 2 to 6 weeks, you know.
Okay.
So and I mean it hasn't been I don't think it's been quite 6 weeks yet, maybe 2 to like 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
So
So
that
it's
could take a little bit longer,
yeah.
and then they have to like match it up to someone. Like if there's nobody in the databases to match, like fingerprints, if they've never been arrested before, there's no fingerprints on file for them.
Yeah.
No, they
They
don't know
just
who it
have to
is.
find someone missing this specific finger.
Well, so right, so they could do DNA and then hope that maybe that person has done like a DNA kit or one of their family members has done a DNA kit and then it matches up to them and then if it's a family member, do they have anybody missing in their family? They might not be a
Wow.
missing persons. Again, we kind of talked about it and this could have been a situation where somebody just didn't fucking report that their finger fell off or whatever. It
Just
doesn't
went
have to be
about
criminal.
their day about it after losing their finger like nothing happened.
People are weird, man. I
That's
mean,
true.
crazy shit happens. You got fucking people that chop off their own penises and stuff and then try to like go about their life until they start bleeding profusely and they got to do something about it. I mean, it's just shit happens.
Yeah.
Chris Chan, do you know anything about Chris Chan? Is that a thing in
No.
your world?
What is
Oh my
that?
god. Chris Chan, Jesus. Chris Chan is like the most documented person on the internet. I'm not going to get too far into it because it's a whole goddamn thing and we might cover it on one of the new shows that we got coming up. Anyway, this person's crazy. They one time they cut. This is gonna get gross. Um, One time they cut their taint open.
Oh,
um, because they're trans, right? They're
okay.
male to female trans. They cut their taint open to show the internet that they were growing a vagina, and it was just that they cut open their taint. And I don't think that made it on the news. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that was like a criminal investigation. Anyway, it's just saying people self mutilate and stuff all the time. It happens a lot. And it is really strange for various reasons.
Okay. I just looked them up and I do not know who this person is at all, but I am uh equal parts fascinated and confused.
Oh my god! I can't even do it justice in a couple of moments. Our Men in Black Nate, he's right. I left out a very important part, and that is that Christian is God,
Oh,
and listen, it's a whole thing.
okay. Well, I look forward to hearing your episode
Oh gosh,
about
yeah,
it so
it
I can
is.
really get the full story.
It's I won't even be able to do the full like there are people that have like ongoing documentation about Christian's life like on YouTube like still it's just crazy. There's so much to it. It's a whole fucking rabbit hole. Just Google it
Wow.
one day. You'll
Yeah, I think I will. Thank you.
just go on YouTube and jump down the rabbit hole. Anyway, no updates on those things. But we do have some, I guess, kind of two big pieces of news this week. The first one we'll talk about is kind of close to me. Bobby Mackey's Music World. Have you heard of this place?
I have heard of that place.
Super famous haunted location. I believe it is like right on the border of Kentucky and Ohio. Don't think it's Cincinnati proper, but it's right in that area. Anyway, a couple months ago, they'd closed down to do some renovations. And Bobby Mackey's Music World is a very old building. Allegedly, there is a portal to hell in the basement. And it's a popular spot. It's a popular ghost hunting spot. A lot of people go there. They claim that some really terrible shit happens to them if they do. Aside from that, it's been a country music venue for God knows how long that they regularly operate and use all the time. And demons don't show up. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
What an interesting combination of things.
It is. Well, they just announced that they will not be reopening.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did
and
the demons finally take over?
they did. They actually
Oh.
bought it.
Oh, okay.
They own it now. No, it's just that the building is too far gone. It
That's
needs way
fair.
too much stuff. They are going to build something else in its place. I don't know if it's going to be another Bobby Mackey's Music World or what. They are trying to keep the well in the basement, the demon well,
Yes, of
so
course.
people can come and explore. So I believe that's happening at the end, maybe the end of April, maybe May. It's coming up. Right now they do have some tours still going on, so you can still go and catch a demon for a short amount of time. So
That's
contact Bobby Mackey's
interesting.
Music World. But yeah, they're closing and people are freaking out about it. People think that it's going to release all the demons onto.
I don't really think that's how that works.
I don't either.
We talked
Um,
about this in our
the last
last
episode we
episode.
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really think that the if the building is as dilapidated as they're saying it is, to justify not fixing it and just replacing it, I really don't think those walls are keeping demons inside. Also,
Right.
I'm sorry, but do people not like? How do you go into the building? You open the door. So would
Right.
that not let the fucking demons out? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. Well, the whole thing is just kind of a weird fucking like I said, I've had people I've never gone and it's so close to my house. It's kind of embarrassing that I've never it's like 40 minutes away, you
Oh yeah,
know.
no, you should definitely go to that before they like do one of the tours before they close it up all the
Right.
way.
I know, right? I got to get there and there's no reason I can't make time. Well, so the last time I had the opportunity to go, I was at the MUFON Symposium in Cincinnati with Jeff Craig, who does the Map in Black,
Yep.
and of course Anne was there, and we were trying to figure out what to do afterwards. And Jeff was like, "Let's go to Bobby Mackey's," and Anne was like, "I'm not fucking taking her to a country bar," because I had my alien shirt on with my little silver skirt. Like I was like my whole get up was I'm an alien in a UFO, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, I'm not fucking taking you to a country music bar." It's like, okay, that's fair, you know. um, so unfortunately we didn't go. Thought we had enough time, and well, now here we are, and they're going to close it. So I'm like, well, now we got to go. But talking to people about it, I've had people that are genuine ghost hunters in my area, people that I know and who have gone and given tours and done investigations and like telling me that they've had to like get the Catholic Church involved because the shit gets so real there.
That's
And
kind of crazy.
I'm like, friends, everybody, my guy, my people, it is a country music venue that's open 7 days a week. Like, and you're telling me that what? The people upstairs are just fine because they're listening to I mean, what stops the demons from coming home with those people? Like, there's no fucking endemic
Yeah, yeah.
of this happening. So I'm very skeptical of it. And like I'm told because I'm skeptical of it, I will get treated very badly by the demons. And I'm like, okay, dude, we'll fucking bring it. Like I ain't afraid of no ghosts, you know?
Okay, Zach Baggins.
Right.
Maybe that's just the
So
keys. You just gotta act like him when you go places, and then you get
it's
a
just
little
him that
taste of
people
the
hate.
activity. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At minimum, I think that, whatever these things are, they probably play off your emotions. And if you're terrified, like they're going to fuck with that because I would if I was a
Yeah.
spirit, a demon, whatever. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, okay, I'll show you." I'll be like, "Oh, this guy gets it. They're not scared, they're cool."
I
And then
go,
someone
this
comes in.
person who's over here crying, though, I'm going to ruin
Right.
their day.
Yeah. I'll go home with them and have a little fun tonight. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, so it's closing. Go check it out while you can. I intend to. There are some plans in the works, but we don't really know what it is. So we'll see. And then like advertise. They're like, well, we moved to a new location that you can come listen to. You can come still listen to the band. Like that's the fucking kicker of their whole venue to begin with. And it's like y'all know damn well people only come there for the ghosts.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know what their business is doing at the new location, though. So who knows? Maybe it's damn good country music. I'm not here to not. I love me some classic country music. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna act like, I'm a white person. I can get down to that.
Yeah.
It's not a big
I
deal.
say I do like my country music with a side of demons, so
Right?
a new
Exactly.
location is not really a sell for me, unfortunately.
No, there's no demons there. Oh fuck this. No, thank you. Um, but that was a bit of big news, that people are mourning the loss of Bobby Mackey's Music World.
That's sad.
And the other big news that happened this week, the Department of Defense, the All Domain Anomalous Resolution Office, otherwise known as AARO, stupidly,
Yeah.
put out a report that stated that they have investigated all of the U.S. government's involvement in any capacity with, well, what they're calling UAPs now, and found that there's no evidence that the government has ever had craft or bodies or has participated in any type of UAP cover up.
I don't believe them.
Right. Why? Did they really think people are just going to be like, oh, okay?
Yeah, it has the same energy as that fucking stuff from whatever show it is, where it's like, we investigated ourselves and we found nothing. It's like, yeah, of course. Of course you're not gonna, like, yeah, no shit. Like, you're not gonna tell us that you found anything.
Yeah.
Like
It's fucking
we've been like
ridiculous.
twisting the arm of the United States government for how many years just for them to acknowledge that UAPs are real? Like,
Exactly.
they're not gonna
Right.
suddenly go, oh yeah, also now that we told you that they're real, um, here are all the ones we've been hoarding in secret bases and shit. Like, they're not gonna do that.
Right.
It took a bunch of like military men coming out about their experiences for them to go, yeah, you're right, we've been hiding this from you. So
Well,
that's stupid.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it wasn't Project Blue Book a whole ass cover up. you know,
Yeah.
isn't that exactly what it was? Like they lied about it forever. Um, this the Tic Tac video that came out back in it initially came out I think in 2017. It leaked on the internet, and
Yeah.
the Pentagon forever. I think they call it another name. I call it the Tic Tac video. Anyway,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Pentagon kept denying it over and over. That's not ours. That's not ours. That's not ours. And then all of a sudden in 2020, yeah, that is ours.
Yeah,
We took
literally. It's
that.
like, you guys have just been lying the whole time, so why should we believe that this is the truth?
Well, and why not in that report say that? Like, why not name those incidences? Like, yes, the US government was studying UFOs for this time period and we lied about it. Yes, we had this video and we lied about it. Like the fact that you don't acknowledge where you were wrong, where you have admitted to us now that you were wrong and you lied to us.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And then you go, no, we haven't found anything. There's
Not
nothing.
really
There's nothing
great
to
for
this.
building trust.
No, not at all. And it's just, I talk about it with me and Tobias talk about it on the show. I call it the disclosure edging.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
what
a
it
great name
is.
for it.
Edging. Constantly edging us, and we're never going to get off.
Yeah,
We're
no.
just all going to have blue balls,
Forever.
you know, or blue discs or blue saucers, whatever it is you want to call them.
Yeah.
But that's what this is. And it's just absolutely, I mean, these people think we're fucking stupid. And they're
Yeah.
right about most of the population, but not all of us are that stupid. So I don't know. It's just really annoying. I mean, I didn't want to make a big fucking to do about it. But they had said stuff like even the anomalous phenomena that we do have going on it could probably be explained. Now they didn't say that they have explained it because they haven't. Because when this all first started and they did that first report, I mean, there was like 600 objects that they found that they could not explain.
Yeah.
They were unidentified. And now they're like, well, we could probably explain them somehow. Not yet, but maybe. And it's like,
Someone needs
okay,
to be like,
guys.
okay, then do it.
Right, then fucking do it.
If you can, then do it. Sit down, take your fucking enormous tax budget for no reason, and do it.
And right, and
And
when you
put the
do it,
time in.
sit there with those fucking with what's his name, Ryan Graves from the Navy, who says, no,
Yep.
these fucking things follow us all the time and they're out there constantly watching us. And you fucking tell him that you can explain that shit.
Yeah.
Like, look his ass in the face and say, yeah, this is what this is.
Yeah.
You know, they can't. And we
That's
know
the whole
why.
point. Yeah. Turds.
I sound like Alex Jones now screaming. We know why. The aliens are friggin' gay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, gay aliens.
Hell yeah, gay
The
aliens.
frogs are freaking gay.
We don't want people to know that the aliens are gay. That's why we hide them.
Yeah, that's probably the most realistic reason, too, actually.
And everybody would be like, oh, if the aliens are gay, we can be gay too.
Yeah. It's if
Then
it's
we're all just gay.
accepted across the universe, and why isn't it accepted here? Just really points out the glaringly obvious issues with America.
It's just, I'm just saying, look, it's time to either just shut the fuck up like you have been, government, for the last, 100 years that you've been investigating this, or like shit or get off the pot at this point.
Yeah,
I'm done
seriously.
edging. I'm ready
Yeah.
to come. And this ain't getting it for me. So
I would literally be fine if they never said anything to us about aliens ever again.
right.
Like,
Right.
it would be okay with me if they just never acknowledged it again, because then at the very least we don't have to, like, deal with
Do
this
this?
frustrating, back and forth of, like, okay, well, yeah, duh. Like, the fuck? Like, I feel like I just learned, like, the most obvious thing in the world, and I'm having, like, a teacher come and tell me, like, I don't know, like, congratulating me for figuring out, like, the world's most obvious, like, the sky is blue. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm being patted on the back for being like, the sky is blue.
It's like the government's mansplaining UFOs
Yes,
to us.
they literally are. It's fucking stupid.
It is. It's really ridiculous. I'm I'm so over it. And the thing is like when this shit used to come out, I used to read every little bit of it. I used to read these
Yeah.
reports, and they're boring. There's no boobs or
Yes.
anything in them.
Yeah, there's no drama. There's no plot line.
Right. It's
There's
nothing
no
sexual about it.
answers. There's nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing. And so, I decided that, you know what? And it is kind of irresponsible of me as a researcher not to, but I'm not reading this fucking report. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting my
blame ya.
time. For what?
I'm gonna let somebody else on Reddit read it and then
Right.
post the cliff notes.
Exactly. And
'Cause I ain't got
that's
time
where
for
I
that
am with
shit.
it. So I'm not going to read the whole fucking thing. I'm good with them saying, yeah, we're not involved in any cover ups or anything, because no surprise there that they would say that.
Yeah,
So,
seriously.
whatever.
Well, it's kind of cool. Speaking of notorious cover-ups, Sam and I are going to California next month,
Oh,
and he was showing me the travel plan that he has because we're driving, and he planned it so that on the way back we get to go through not only Salt Lake City, Utah, the land of the Mormons, which, as someone who grew up in the Mormon church, very interested in seeing. I do not practice Mormonism. Just going to throw that out there. I don't do it. Not anymore. I left the church, but I would like to see. I'm just curious.
yeah, that's part of your lore. You gotta know.
It is part of my lore. I would like to see the Mormon motherland. So that'll be interesting. But then we're also going to stop in Roswell.
You're not hitting Skinwalker Ranch?
No, we don't really have time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We're on like a little bit of a time crunch just because I have a jewelry event the day after we get back.
Gotcha.
But
Roswell's
we're gonna.
still very cool.
Yeah, I wanted to see Skinwalker Ranch. I also won't lie to you, I am a little bit afraid of Skinwalker Ranch. There are a lot of places in the world that I would love to see, and Skinwalker Ranch is on that list, but it's not the first one that I'm going out of my way to go to because it does kind of frighten me.
Yeah. It's
That place is just
intimidating for sure.
unhinged for no fucking reason. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's just
it
so much
is.
shit. And I think about that guy that used to live there that like cut the alien in half with the like samurai sword so often. And that alone makes me not want to go there.
I didn't know
That's
that
terrible.
happened. That's news to me. I've never heard this
Oh
story.
my god, it's in one of the documentaries about it. The one of the guys, I think it was the owners before the current owners. Um,
Okay.
his wife used to be like taken away by the aliens in the night, and they would see them all the time, and she would be like levitating out of bed, and he would go and try to like fight. Oh, is it Ghost Adventures? Thank you. I was like, I can't remember if it's in the documentary or if it's in the Ghost Adventures episode. But he's like, yeah, he says that he like took his samurai sword and cut the alien in half. And then the alien like disappeared, but his like blood was all over the samurai sword. And I also think that it's not only just in Ghost Adventures, but I'm pretty sure it's in one of the documentaries also, because I don't think there's enough time in Ghost Adventures for it to go as in depth as I am remembering. You know what I mean? But he like sent it to a lab, and then the guy who like did the analysis on it was like, oh, it's like 95 or something. I don't remember the percentage. Some percentage, like really high percentage plant matter.
Damn.
And then that guy mysteriously disappeared or something. I don't know.
I wish I kind of wish this was a video episode because my face is
I
just
yeah.
speaking
I
volumes.
wish you could see my face. I'm like trying to remember all this shit. I'm gonna find what it was on, and I'm gonna send it to you, and you need to
Yeah,
watch
I gotta
it.
watch this. That's right up my
I
alley
think
right
about that
there.
literally all the time. It's terrifying. I'm like, that's scary.
That is really no. Well, that's as somebody that investigates aliens, I'm fucking terrified of aliens. Like
Yeah,
they
they're
really
so
scare me.
scary.
And it's not because like they're bad people or whatever, that I know of. It's just that like me compared to an alien, I have no control in that situation.
Yeah, I
Like
get fucked up immediately.
right, like it's so but anyway, yeah, send that to me please
Yeah, I'll find
because
it.
I'm gonna check that out. I'll watch the Ghost Adventures episode too. I need more of that fucking guy in my life. Well, if he's missing,
Yeah.
maybe we should talk about him at some
Well,
time. I
the
don't know.
scientist guy is missing.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, no, Skinwalker Ranch is interesting, and I am always on the fence. I'm always back and forth. It is probably one of the most comprehensive scientific explorations that we've done on a
Yeah.
property like this, and you had all these scientists that had all these results that we're seeing fucking creatures pop out of portals and shit. It's nuts. And these are people that aren't you and me. These are people that are putting their whole career on the line saying shit like that.
They also got like
And
rich people there. Like they got like Post Malone there and shit saying that.
well, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing nowadays. It's like a
Yeah.
fucking carnival for the rich, it seems. But you can go there. You can go just outside of Skinwalker Ranch. There's a little campground right outside of it. You can go stay.
Yeah, I
And
don't want to do that.
I've known people who have stayed and who have got crazy shit, have caught crazy shit, caught crazy evidence, and they don't even know what to do with it because it's so good, and it is. It's like, Anyway, eventually, there's some stuff that I know of that's in the works that's coming out, and it'll blow your mind if you want Skinwalker Ranch proof. That's not the TV show. That is just from an everyday person who wants to get to the bottom of this stuff. It's out there, or you can just go stay there yourself if you'd like. Um, it's possible. Catch your own evidence because apparently shit pops off there all the time. So you won't miss it.
Wow.
Anyway, you want to talk about this dancing plague?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let me pull up my get my little notes here. You guys ready for me to mispronounce things? That's going to be great.
Just do your best. Just like spell it phonetically.
if I have to. Alrighty. So this is kind of one of those ones. This is like you see this in memes a lot. Like one time back in France there was this dancing plague and people danced themselves to death.
Yep.
Um I mean people have done comprehensive breakdowns of what we know, or at least as close to what we know. I tried to get the best information that I can, but keep in mind this happened in 1518.
Wow. Oh my god, wow.
Yeah. So that was like a long time ago. It was like 500 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a
It's like
long
so
time
long
ago.
ago I can't even like really grasp the concept of how long ago that was.
Right. So this was in, I think it's Strasbourg, France. It wasn't France at the time. It was called something else. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
I believe it was the Holy Roman Empire is what it was at the time. So, quite a long time ago. Now, there is some debate as to how this started. There, you got a couple of different like historians. I think it's like there's like six different hardcore historians that have really researched everything that they could. Some of it does come from written historical record that we had at the time. Four of the six agree that this started with one woman. So that's the narrative we're going to go with.
Okay.
Her name was Frau Trophia, I believe,
Okay.
or Trophy, maybe.
What an
Um,
interesting name.
yeah, Frau. Frau Trophia. She just stopped one day in the middle of the street and, well, guess what? She started fucking dancing.
That's actually
And
like kind of sick though.
it is,
She
right?
was doing it.
She's like, why not? You know what? I don't know if there was music playing when it started. I don't know if she just kind of hummed her own tune. Maybe she was singing.
I think based
She
on
just,
what I imagine to be like the Roman Empire, there's just like fiddles playing all the time, like violins and
constant
harps and
fiddling.
yeah, yeah. There's like somebody on every street corner, like they're all playing the same song. So no matter where you go, it's just like a
Oh.
continuation. That's how I picture like ancient
And it's like a
Greece
loop.
and like yeah, yeah, yeah. There's just somebody always playing a song, and they're all in time with each other, so they're all playing the same song. It's just like a really coordinated effort. That's how I always picture that shit. I don't know
I
why.
wonder what song it would be. If we did
I don't
that
know.
now in 2024, what song do you think would be playing everywhere all the time?
Mm.
It's hard, right?
Yeah, that's a hard. There's so many it could be.
Like, I think it just depends on like your culture and how you grew up and like your family. So, like
Yeah,
for some people, it would be like "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey, right?
that
Like,
that would be a great or Sweet Home Alabama. It's got to be like a white
right?
person song, like on every
Yeah.
corner.
In West Virginia, it's obviously it's Country Roads.
Yeah,
John
I do
Denver.
think Paramore would probably make their way on there because what I have
So,
what I have
mhm.
learned is that Paramore can kind of traverse all of the races.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Everyone
Paramore would
likes
be on
Paramore.
there. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I think it depends. Obviously, at Bobby Mackey's, it's like
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of an old country song and I can't.
yeah.
Blanked. Oh well. Anyway,
Insert your own
um,
country song here, listeners.
right, whatever it is you feel like you hear all the time, right? And
Yeah.
then it's like you know how like they'll start playing a song on the radio, it gets really popular, and then you hear it constantly, and then it gets really annoying.
But someone's just on the street corner playing it.
Playing it all the time, no matter where you go.
So that's
You
where the
leave that
music came
area,
from.
and there's a new area. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
So
agree with
that's what
that.
Frau was. She was just listening, jiving to the fiddler on the corner.
To the background music of the
Yeah.
of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Anyways, she starts dancing, and this goes on for her for about a week. And in that week, in a week straight, we're talking. Frau did not take a break from breaking it down. She was on top of things, and
Wow.
yeah. As the week goes on, 3 dozen other people join in.
Oh.
you
Okay.
know, 3 dozen.
That's a lot.
And it's a lot of people. So she's just out there dancing. Everybody else comes on there just dancing. And this started in July. So I'm assuming it was probably hot back then. This is the summer of
Yeah.
1518.
You know it was
Um,
stinky too.
oh yeah, I can't even. I mean, you ever been in a club before? Yeah, it probably smells like
Well, you have
that
to you
after
have to
10
also
a.m.
add to the fact that like you know just everything we know about the way disease spread
Oh
and
yeah,
those timelines, and also like if you're dancing nonstop, you're not using a toilet.
no,
You're just you're just
or
pissing and
you are the
shitting.
toilet,
You are,
right?
yeah, exactly. You are the toilet. So you're just dancing nonstop for 5 days. Like
You're
no,
just
you're
dancing
gonna
on top of it.
smell so bad.
Remember back in like the 90s when you used to be able to go to, I think it was like Texas Roadhouse, and like they had the peanuts, and like you would throw the peanut shells on the floor and then dance on top of them?
No.
Really?
No. I am familiar with the concept of eating peanuts at a restaurant. I do not
Even
know
Nate
that
says no.
I don't know
Yeah,
that I would have ever thrown them on the floor and danced on top of
it was
them.
I swear to God, it was a thing. So like I said, I think it was Texas Roadhouse. It might not have been. It might have been another big steakhouse franchise. And yeah, that you would get like free peanuts, and like you'd be sitting there eating your peanuts or whatever, and then you would throw them on the floor, and then they would play a certain song, and when they played that song, everybody got up and would dance on top of them.
That's really bizarre, actually. It's like kind
Yeah,
of
and so
concerning.
they didn't do it for very long, or at least not that I know, because people obviously they would fucking slip and fall on this pile of crunched peanut shells, and
Yeah.
like, they'd get sued. So it was, I believe, a short-lived thing. It is one of those things, though. Anyway, that reminds me of this, except human waste, um, all over the streets
Yeah.
while
It's just
these
shit
people are
everywhere.
dancing. I'm assuming they didn't take breaks to piss or shit. I'm assuming they didn't sleep.
Well, I feel
At
like
least this
it's
is what makes it seem.
implied in the fact that it's called dancing plague because you don't just like take a break from being sick.
Right. Like this is erratic, I mean, this is like crazy dancing. I mean, it is nuts. Like it seems
Yeah.
ridiculous, and it is. So I'd agree with that. So anyway, by the end of August, over 400 people were infected by the dancing plague.
What the fuck?
Over 400 people. So I don't think they were all dancing at once, because like I said, Frau, it seems she danced for like a week and then she was like done with it, and then like, I don't know,
That
fucked
doesn't
off into the
make
night. I don't
any
know, dude. She went
sense at
home.
all.
She just left. She's like, I'm not. And I think it's some people tend to, they tend to do that. Was they would come, they would dance their ass off until they dropped, and then they would be done with it. Obviously the council at the time was like, okay, what is happening here? They
Yeah.
consulted with um local doctors there. They're like, what is going on? And the doctor said the solution to this is just to dance themselves free of it, is what they said. So just go ahead and dance it out. Like, if you got to
It's like
dance, like,
let it leave your
do it.
system.
They'll stop eventually, and that'll be what it is. So, they decided to then take an approach to, okay, well, what can we do? We can't just have all these fucking people dancing in the street. Like, it's disruptive. We can't get our fucking horses by.
Yeah.
They're pissing and shitting everywhere. Like, we got to do something about
Yeah.
this. So they started using like the guild halls, and they would like clear out spaces to have the dancers go there. So it's like
Okay.
it ended up being like a dance hall.
A
They
designated
actually,
dancing zone.
right, for your dancing illness.
Yeah.
They would actually like hire musicians to go ahead and play music. Their own
Okay.
music, to try to encourage the dancing. If they felt the need to. And then they also hired like strong men to come assist, because some of the dancers were like collapsing or having physical injuries. So they would like hire these like strong dudes to like hold them upright so that they could dance. Because I mean, if they fall on the floor, right, and all these people are dancing around, like that's how you get trampled. If you've
That's
ever
not
been
the
to a
sign
show,
to stop dancing. They're
huh,
like, no, we'll hold you up so you can keep dancing
right,
with your
so you can keep
broken
on dancing.
leg. The fuck?
Yeah, right. They're like,
Okay.
let's help you out. Well, like I said, if you fall on the floor, and I don't know if they were like carrying these people out like once they collapsed, or maybe that's kind of more, they were like more like crowd control. Because if you
Hmm.
fell on the floor and these people are dancing around, you're gonna get trampled, and
Yeah.
so they gotta make sure that they aren't trampling people. So they were trying. Well, some people got confused, and
Yeah.
some people thought that this was a hall of some type of punishment, and that they would need to go dance there to free themselves of sin. So some people started joining in because they didn't understand that these were people dancing on their own volition. They thought that it was like something religious about it, that, like I said, they had to come dance to be forgiven, be absolved
I
of
mean, you
sin.
see that in like movies and stuff. That's like a curse. You're like that's in Hocus Pocus. The Sanderson sisters
That's right.
curse all the adults to dance till they die.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, that's I feel like a pretty common. I maybe that's where it started. Maybe that's like the origin of dancing to your death as a trope. But I don't. That's fucking weird.
It's weird. So the council's like, well, shit, this isn't working. Now everybody's starting to come dance. Like, we can't
I don't
have all these
understand,
people
like,
dancing.
looking in there and being like, oh, this must be a religious thing. We should join them in punishment.
Right. We're
Like,
bad people, so let's go dance.
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
going to ask anybody. We're just going to assume that that's what's happening in there.
People were very smart in 1518.
Yeah, they're very smart in 2024, too.
Right. I mean, right. People, it's a mob mentality. People just
Yeah.
tend to follow along. They see all these people doing this thing, and they're like, maybe I should do that thing, right?
Yeah.
If everybody's doing it, it can't be wrong. So that's always been, I guess, a thing that we do as humans. It's a bad idea, but that's what we do. Um, so they're like, yeah, this isn't working, you guys. Let's go the opposite end of the spectrum. We're gonna ban dancing altogether.
Okay, Footloose.
Right, and not just that. We're gonna ban music too. No music, no dancing.
That I
Let's see
can
what happens.
understand. I understand.
And they're like, let's
I
see what
don't
happens.
I don't really like it, but you can I mean, you can still dance without music, but
Well, I mean,
I
they were
get that,
trying.
yeah, they're trying not to like encourage the dancing at least.
They're like, how could we, how do we stop? What do we do? Like, what is the solution here? How do we stop this from happening?
I
And
really don't
at
think there
this
is one.
point, there were people. Now it is up for debate. First of all, how many people this involved in general, we don't know.
Yeah.
400 seems to be like the maximum. Um, and how many people died doing this? Some people did die from like heart attack, stroke, probably injuries,
That was going to be my next
associated with it.
question actually. Is
How
did
many people
anyone die
died?
from it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So allegedly people did, but because this was 500 years ago, um,
Can't be
we don't
too
really know how
sure.
many people. All
Yeah.
right, we're not sure. It depends on who you follow and their work and what they say. So, but this is a real problem. They needed these people to fucking get back to work, get back to their lives, get back to their families. So they're trying to stop it. Well, somebody gets the bright idea to let's do a ritual and let's see
Okay.
if that works.
Well, I mean,
So
nothing else worked, so they might as
right.
well.
Right. Let's try something new again. So in September, they took the dancers at the time and they moved them all to this mountain shrine that they had. And the idea was for them to pray for absolution, and they kind of had like a little deal with it. So the dancers wore red shoes that were doused in holy water.
Okay.
They had crosses painted on their foreheads, and they held little tiny crosses in their hands while they were at the shrine and danced and prayed for it to stop. And this worked.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, sure, totally. That makes sense, I guess.
Right. I mean, for whatever reason, and who knows, maybe the physicians were right. They just needed to get it out and dance out, but this eventually, and maybe it's because they moved these people, so they
Yeah.
weren't like in the general population, so you didn't have more people adding to it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You seclude them so no one can
You
jump
know.
in. I also feel like you know, there was a very heavy fear of God in those days. Um
Oh yeah.
and so you introduce that aspect of it, and I
Yeah.
feel like if it was that people were just dancing just to dance and less of, a weird anomaly, then yeah, introducing the idea that their god will be displeased with them for continuing to dance might do it.
Oh yeah.
That might break the curse.
If you
So
ever in your life need to kill a party, right? You need to bring a party down.
yeah,
Bring God to
yeah,
it.
super quick way
That'll do
to
it.
to clear the room.
Right. Everybody's gonna be getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this worked, and everybody stopped dancing, and that was that. That was what happened. So what the fuck happened? Why did this happen?
Yeah.
What was going on with these people that they were dancing themselves crazy and some of them even dying? Let's look at some of the theories. The first one is, I shit you not, that a fungus had infected their grains, and this
Okay.
particular fungus is structurally related to LSD. So they were all just tripping fucking balls off of the bread that they were eating.
I won't lie to you. Of all of the theories, like the whack theories that I've heard to, explain away anything I've ever heard of in this, uh, you know, realm of things, that is one of the smartest. That
That makes
actually
sense.
makes so much sense.
It does. It really does. And somebody that's done a lot of LSD in my lifetime, I can attest to it. It does make sense. Some of the historians were saying that it doesn't make sense because they wouldn't have been able to dance that long on something like LSD. And I disagree with you.
Yeah. Well, also just like
Oh.
it's not LSD. It's not. It's just
Right.
genetically. Well, I don't know if genetically is the right word, but its makeup is similar to
It's
LSD. It would make
similar.
it something different completely. Also, it was 500 years ago, so who's to say that 500 years ago's LSD was not stronger than the LSD that we have now?
I one time, and like LSD isn't like, it's not like it gives you crazy energy like cocaine does. It's just
Yeah,
that you were having such a good time, right? Like you could be literally doing anything. And I've done so much. We used to do LSD and clean the house, like because it just made everything that much better, and we
yeah,
loved doing it. It was great. And that was like one of the jokes one time was like, "There's not enough shit to do with your hands," and like, you
yeah.
can't possibly find enough things to do on LSD. I had sex one time on LSD for 7 hours fucking straight, 7 hours straight, and the only reason why we stopped was because we heard someone, like a neighbor, outside the window, and we wanted to go talk to them.
That's
So we did.
insane.
It was. And it's like we look at the clock, we're like, oh shit, we've been having sex for this long. I mean, you don't really know. Time is so different when
Yeah,
you're on something like LSD. And that's kind of the point. Like, so if I could fuck for 7 hours straight on LSD, like these people could dance for, you know, a week straight on LSD. Why not? I get it.
yeah.
Or whatever drug it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially a more primitive form of something. That'd be
This checks
like
out.
the most natural possible form of, whatever drug it was.
And for people to kind of slowly get involved, I mean, if it's in the food source,
Yeah,
and they're just kind of eating their bread, like nothing's going on, and then all of
yeah.
a sudden the fucking
They're all
you
flipped
got
out.
the NPC background music going on, and they're like, oh fuck, I'm feeling this. That's my jam.
All of a sudden they've all eaten. They're all really high. I've done that
Right.
with like weed edibles before. So
Right. You
it's
just,
not
I
it's
mean,
not an unrealistic theory at all.
no. No, I agree. And I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Of course the other theory is just simply fucking mass hysteria.
Yes.
And I hate that. I hate mass hysteria as an explanation for anything
But
most of
I
the time.
also
It's
get
just,
it.
yes, I do also kind of get it. Mass hysteria in this case, I get it. Mass hysteria is a usually a stress induced type of situation. You know, there was a lot of disease at the time. A lot of, people were fucking starving, dying
Yeah.
constantly. I can completely understand being so far off your fucking rocker, like Frau, like just being so far, like having a mental breakdown and just be like, fuck it. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
die anyway.
dance.
I'm gonna dance until death. Right. And then everybody else is like, fuck yeah. It's something. It's something to hit the dopamine.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I
Like,
kind of like that. I think I might like that better than the LSD one.
and like mixed in with like other rumors, like, oh,
Yeah.
if we don't do this, we're sinning. We have to absolve our sin to do, like, those little
Yeah.
things add up and more
Is
people
there
joined in,
like
and so
I know you said there's a couple different origin stories. Is there like information on what class of people it was primarily doing the dancing?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it
Oh,
was most of the time. I think it was just like peasant people. I don't know if they're called at the time poor people, regular people, common folk. There was no like famous historical figures that partook
That's kind of
in the
like what I
dancing.
was thinking, because I feel
Yeah.
like, first of all, we'd have more information about it if there were famous historical
Right.
figures involved in it. But also, when you think about, like, Sam and I watch a lot of the Weird Food History YouTube channel, and we
Oh,
have
okay.
learned a lot about the diets of medieval people.
Oh,
Just because it's one of the topics they cover a lot. And the huge difference between the poor person's diet and the royal person, so the person of high society's diet, which is the only reason I was thinking that is like it, the LSD one kind of makes more sense in that case if it was like a food mutation.
right. Because they're getting a lot of bread as opposed to meat.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that since you said that. I was like, I gotta just let this out of my brain.
That's okay. That makes sense though. Yeah, like I said, I mean that, but the mass hysteria makes sense as well.
Yeah, it does.
Both of them seem valid. I mean, like I said, if I've been stressed, I've had mental breakdowns. We
Yeah.
all have, and you do some weird shit,
Yep.
to try to kind of just break your brain of that cycle. Like you try to kind of get out of it a little bit, and you're not so much in panic mode. So, like, I could definitely see these people fucking breaking out and dance in the middle of the street. Why not?
Yeah.
You
Yeah. It
know,
also could just be a combination of the two. Also, you know.
right. It could be both. It could have been that, some people were fucking having drug bread and they and others were fucking depressed and then other people thought that they were sinners and had to
Yeah.
absolve themselves.
They're all just
Um,
freaking out over various things
I mean,
together.
if it was up to 400 people, I mean, that's a lot of people with different reasons, you
That
know.
is a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, and it would make sense that it would be a culmination of different things. But those are really, I mean, really the only two major theories aside from also the religious standpoints. I'm surprised that nobody's ever posed the idea that this was a type of protest.
Yeah. I guess that's, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like when Frau got out there and she started shaking that thing, she was doing it for a reason.
Yeah, I think just the historical events surrounding it being kind of lost to time, like in not
Right.
historical events really, but like the day-to-day things that were happening, those things being lost to time make it kind of a little bit harder to pinpoint what exactly could have been the reason, because I do think
Right.
that that is a very reasonable theory, but
Hmm.
obviously we can't know what she would have been protesting or what all these other
Right.
people would have joined the protest for, because there's barely any historical documentation about this even happening.
Right, to begin with, right, there's
Yeah.
so little, right, because if she was protesting, right, and the council was like, "Well, fuck that," why wouldn't they wrap this up as, "Well, she's
Yeah.
just crazy"? Isn't that what they
That's
did with
yeah.
women all the time back then?
I mean, they still do that with women now.
Right, they're
not
just
not not
crazy,
not that
so
much has changed. So
right,
I
so
guess
why
that's true.
wouldn't
Yeah.
they cover it up
Yeah.
and call it mass hysteria or a plague or something and try to be like, "Well, we're the good guys, see? We're giving you a place to dance, and we're trying to
Yeah.
help you dance it out," you know?
And I'm going to go ahead
Um
and continue on with my thought process that it was primarily like the poor people that were affected by it.
Mhm.
Because that really, if it was a protest too, like despite what I said about there not being any evidence or historical documentation to support that, because they don't document the day to day life of those people, you can kind of assume that it was probably
Right.
like fuck our government, because I mean we see that a lot
Yeah.
now. So that's usually, I feel like, the most common reason why people start protesting. So, and in that case, obviously, like the rich and the royal are not going to be involved in that,
Yeah,
just in
they don't need to
general.
be,
Yeah.
and then for them to say, "Well, it ended because these people went and prayed to God, and God, freed them from their plague," I mean, also seems very and on track with what we were doing with
Yes.
religion at the time.
Yes, it
You're talking about the
does.
Roman Empire. you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of what they did, right? It was like, look how great God is. He's so great. He saved these people. Meanwhile, like they're secretly causing these problems to begin with,
Yeah.
and then claiming that it's God that fixes them.
Yeah, I guess,
Um,
yeah, that's true. Just maybe religious propaganda.
yes. Yeah, I like the idea
Wow.
that this was some type of potential uprising, some type of revolution, that they tried to instill at the time that they were shot down with.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's the theory we stick with.
yeah, I like that one, and like I said, I'm surprised that there's not a lot more out there on it, on that particular take, and there's not. I didn't come across anything, so I don't
Yeah.
know why we wouldn't go there. To that point. I mean, the fact that it was a woman to begin with that started it is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Especially in those
You know?
times.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a thing. I mean, that's a huge position for a woman to take.
It is, yeah.
Um, during those times. As far as I know, nobody was punished except for the people that might have danced to death.
Yes.
But like shit happens also, like, dancing for like 2 days straight, like that's a lot on the body. Like
Yeah, it is,
so I
yeah.
mean, that's not too crazy. It's like that great medicine back then yet.
Yeah.
People collapsing from it from exhaustion. Okay, that and they're starving anyway. They got no food or nothing except
Yep.
for some bread that makes you fucked up.
Yeah, LSD bread.
Some LSD bread, and unclean water.
Yeah.
I don't blame. I can see why people died.
Yeah.
But there have been other. I mean, historically, there have been other similar circumstances. There have been other cases of people getting together and dancing like this with no real explanation, and they just kind of always chalk it up to this mass hysteria. Um, I really take a bunch of notes on the other situations. None of them have been as prevalent or as large of a presence as this particular incident had
Yeah.
been. There have never been 400 people doing it, like they were at this time. So, um, I didn't think that that was too important, but I mean, there's they didn't just do this for no reason.
Yeah, there's obviously something going on. I wish that, like, there were more, even just like a footnote in someone's diary entry, like, oh, I saw these people dancing today. Wonder what that was about. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Like a
I
slice of
just,
life.
yeah, I wish there was a little bit more context to it because I think it just would have been interesting
Yeah.
to know even one of the people, even if one person could have written down what they were feeling, why they were doing it. I think it just would have been neat.
Right. They're like, I just got back from the fucking dance party. It was just the first rave, guys. That's it. Like, and it
Yeah,
just went on for like 3 months,
because they were having a really great time, so they just kept it going.
I
It seems like
mean,
they rotated out people too, so it's like you get tired, okay, you go back to your life for a couple days if you need to, and you can come back afterwards.
right. We'll be here.
Yeah, it seemed like that
Still
seemed
dancing.
fine.
I mean, maybe it is something as innocent as that. They just, like I said, they were so depressed. And they're like, we need to fucking do something about
Yeah,
this. And they created a dance party. Dancing's fun.
dancing is fun. I do think that I would be susceptible to falling into a dancing plague, to be honest,
Oh, hell yeah.
because
Oh, I can't be
it's
around
just
somebody
enjoyable.
dancing and not dance.
Yeah,
It is contagious. It's like yawning.
it is. Yeah, I randomly dance to the music that's stuck in my head sometimes,
Yep.
especially at work, and everyone looks at me
Yep.
like I'm crazy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but what would you like me to do?
Oh yeah.
Like, I need to
I'm
let it out somehow.
I am one of those people. I like to dance randomly for no reason. It's just my body is just made that way. It's just the doctors were right back then. You just got to dance it out sometimes.
Yep.
Um, that is, one of the things that I am kind of, I guess, known for. I don't know, but everybody doesn't do it. And I know that because I'm the weirdo that does.
Yeah.
And so, you notice, you notice everybody's not dancing, but some people do,
Yeah.
it's not completely unusual. It just so happens that all the people that do this, I believe, found each other in France
In
in
France, yeah.
1518.
Just happen to all be living at the same time in the same place.
They're like, you hear that fucking song on the corner that plays every day, day in and day out? shit is fire.
I love that. I love the idea of that.
And then they just went for it, I don't know, or it could be something as dark as protest. We don't know. You're right. There's just not enough. There are some historical records on it, mostly from like the physicians and like from the council and like kind of laws that they were putting in place to avoid it. But we just kind of have barely pieced this together. And who knows, even the stories we
Yeah.
know it might not be very accurate. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like it's a lot of maybe this happened, maybe that happened.
Yeah, lots of
But
speculation going on in there.
right. But I mean, we do know that there were people that were dancing nonstop for an extended amount of time without any real explanation for it.
It's so
And that's
crazy.
it. And we just kind of build off of that to try to. I hope this happens again in my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, do you
Wouldn't
think
that be
that
neat?
maybe like what are those flash mob? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Do you
flash
think that
mobs.
that could be considered part of the dancing plague?
Oh, well, yeah, why not?
Because I think it definitely. I mean, they don't go for as long, but it is a group of people that just start dancing out of nowhere, and other people join them.
That's true. I mean, it's organized, so they all kind of plan it, like, but it's a surprise to everybody, right, when they show up. And yeah, the Harlem Shake, that was another one. That was a big thing for a long
That came
time.
out. That was when I was like 18, and I was in my
Yeah.
last year of high school. And I'm gonna send you the link to it on YouTube because I was in a class that we made a TV show for the school, and we did 3 Harlem Shake videos
Oh,
in
at
three
at the
different
school.
in the school, in the class, in 3 different locations. We just all were like, we're all good on our stories for the week. This would be fun. Let's do this. I'm gonna find it and send it to you because they are actually so funny.
We should bring back the Harlem Shake. I
I
think that
agree, actually.
that would bring people together.
That era of music too, like Gangnam
Yeah.
Style, Harlem
Oh yeah.
Shake, that kind of shit, that all went hard because we were all like, this is fun. We're happy.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years almost.
I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
that.
it's been 10 years. That's very sad.
And we also did, God, I'm not even gonna say what we did. It's embarrassing. Um, it was fun though. Just know that. Um, but yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff like that. Yes, I think that if somebody had found like a Harlem Shake video like 500 years into the future without any context at all, right? What the fuck would they think?
That is very fair. I really do think that that would be like, oh, it's a dancing plague. It has to be.
Right? Like, what's wrong with these people? Why are they all dancing all
Why
of
are
a
they doing
sudden? Like,
that?
what's the deal with it? Was some type of protest.
Well, also like I just found the link I'm gonna send you guys on YouTube, and
Awesome.
it of course it shows you like the little previews and stuff, and there's like someone with a chicken mask on, so like it's like I can't explain that. I was a part of it and I can't explain it. So I can only imagine what somebody from the future would think rolling up and being like, what the fuck is this?
And that is like such a thing. I went to a concert one time. There was a guy there dressed like a banana, and then like I start going to this concert every year. I went 2 more times after that, and he was there each fucking time. And you know it's him. It's the guy dressed as a banana. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's his thing.
Yeah. Sam and I
I
watch
love people sometimes.
a lot of professional wrestling, and there is a guy in the WWE universe that everyone refers to as the green shirt guy because I don't know what the fuck this man does for work, but he is literally always in the front row of the hard cam side on the floor of every fucking match. Always.
Wearing
He's
a green
always
shirt.
wearing his bright green shirt. He's on is it the vampire guy? No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe I got my lore mixed up here, um, but no, he's literally at like all the pay-per-views. He's at all the fucking things, like, and every time I'm like, Sam, there's the green shirt guy, and Sam doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. But I just am amazed. I'm like fascinated by this man.
Good
That
for
yeah,
him.
I'm like, whatever you do for work, let me hire me, please, because I need that kind of money.
When you start sewing, you could start making him new green shirts.
That is true. I could do that. I actually have a green shirt I could give him. It's the same color. It has Nessie on it.
Oh,
Sarah
there
gave
you
it to
go.
me. It's a child's medium.
Oh, okay.
So, probably. I don't know if
Is,
it.
is he going to fit a child's medium?
I don't think so. I barely fit a child's medium dog. Like,
That's awesome. No, I love stuff like that. Like it's just like a little
yeah.
Easter egg. Yeah, who is that guy? I want to know more. I want to know his story.
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
shit like that too. I'm just like, oh, okay. It's like, I have no explanation for this, but he's there. He's
green
always
shirt
there.
guy. I'm
Yep.
so easily entertained by stuff.
I'm
I
gonna
don't.
Google it and see if I can find him.
We have like tons of geese in my apartment complex because we have like a pond and
Hmm.
they love it, and so now they're starting to kind of come into the area. And me and my daughter have been fucking fascinated because they've been hanging out on the rooftops lately, and it's just I don't know. It's there's just something whimsical about coming outside and seeing a fucking goose on the roof. You know,
That is
I don't
very
know. It's funny.
whimsical.
It is, and
I
I don't
like
know, just
that.
the little things. The little things. You gotta enjoy it. So you got the green shirt guy and geese on rooftops and
It's very nice. It's like
dancing
this
until you
the
die.
you seen you ever do you use TikTok ever? I feel like I've asked you
Sometimes.
this before. There's a trend going on right now. It's called Hope Core, which stupid name. It's literally just videos of people being happy.
Huh.
But they're always like it's like that. Like they're always like, "Oh, life is beautiful." And it's like, I don't know, two little kids like hugging or
Oh,
like, someone reconnecting with their lost dog. It's just like shit like
oh,
that. Like military people
wholesome
coming home.
stuff.
Yeah, really wholesome stuff. That's just like nice to see. And
I
you're
love
like,
that.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, it's the internet's filled with enough bullshit, missing fingers and fucking,
Yeah.
whatever, dead
Dancing
cows,
plagues.
dancing plagues, right? So let's keep it wholesome sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which I mean, I guess the plague could have been wholesome, right? If they were just tripping on acid, like that's cool. Like or
Yeah.
at the acid equivalent at the time, that's all right. If they were just depressed and trying to lighten up their lives, that there's nothing wrong with that. Um, if they're trying to start a revolution, they did not. Maybe that's where the name Dance Dance Revolution comes from.
Oh my god, you figured it out. It's
Right?
full
Just
circle.
saying. I knew it.
Yeah, I think I was already sold on that theory before, but now I'm extra sold on it, so that's what happened.
Right. The
And
Japanese knew.
and they gave us DDR, the
They gave us
best
DDR.
game ever.
Man, I miss DDR.
Me too. Actually, Sam and I
That
go to the
was my
barcade
shit.
sometimes, and they have DDR, and we can
Do
only,
they?
yeah, we can only play like one level though,
Yeah.
because then we're
Yeah.
like sweating, and because we're old now,
Right.
and I have
Yeah.
boobs, so I'm sure
Oh
you
yeah,
know
it's
what it's like to
tough.
try to play anything that requires you to jump
Oh
with
yeah.
titties. It hurts. So
Yeah, we used to have like a little group that met up in high school to play DDR at the local arcade every week.
I love
And
that.
man, the shit that we used to be able to do and those big ass fucking platform boots and little teeny tiny tights and skirts and
Yeah, and now it's like if I don't plan like the like proper outfit, I need to have like the just the right sports bra on and like
right.
I'm like I can't even leave the house.
And then like mentally prepared, you gotta go home afterwards and fucking ice that shit. Like
You go to work the next day and they're like, "Oh, you run a marathon or something?" And you're like, "No, I played DDR at the arcade."
right, went pretty hard on that DDR.
No, we were literally playing skee ball the other day, like because we went on the day after Valentine's Day. That was our date
Oh,
night, as
okay.
we went out for pizza and got went to the barcade, and we're playing like skee ball.
That's
And I was like,
awesome.
we need to take a break. My shoulder hurts because also like I know I was telling you a couple weeks ago my shoulder's all fucked up and it has been for a
Yeah.
while. But like that's so silly that I couldn't even play skee ball.
Right.
for more than like a couple rounds before I was like, okay, I'm in pain. We need to move on. I'm like, oh,
These balls are
okay.
heavy.
Yeah, literally. It's like the smallest fucking thing ever. I was like, it just hurts. It's hurting my shoulder so badly. I was like, I hate this right now. It's fucked
See, and
up.
that's why I'm getting my shit together. My
Yeah.
endo suggests weightlifting. Actually, weight training is really good. Weight trainers will take insulin
Yeah.
to assist them in their training or whatever. So she's like, well, you should definitely do that. Do cardio. It's good for your heart, but do weight training. And I'm like, I'm gonna get so fucking ripped. I can't wait. And then I'm gonna throw those ski balls like nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah. I do a little bit of like strength training because I'm in physical therapy for my shoulder and my neck.
Yeah,
So I have to do some amount of strength training to be able to kind of like
yeah,
fix my
compensate.
yeah, to like fix
Yep.
my muscles basically.
Hmm.
But I also do like I have been lazy about it recently, but I do usually do like weightlifting and stuff at home anyway,
Yeah,
and yoga. I like doing yoga. I like getting a good
stretching is yep,
stretch.
yep,
It's
very
nice.
important.
Yeah, but I
Very
was
important.
lazy all winter, so now it's time to stop being lazy so I can get really good at DDR again.
Right. We should both we'll both train, okay, and we'll get really good at DDR. We'll meet up somewhere in the middle of the country and we'll have
Yep.
like a DDR meetup.
That sounds sick. I actually would really
Right.
like to do that.
Like we'll invite everybody that listens to the show, that we'll invite them. They can come along if they're close or if they want to come in for it, and we'll all get together and fucking DDR.
Yeah,
We'll all
that
play
sounds great.
DDR. And we'll be good at it. Uh,
Yes. We will all be
not
very
dying
good
after
at
one
it.
song.
Yep.
So that makes sense. Anyway, did you have any other thoughts on the dancing plague?
No, I just kind of love it, honestly. I know for certain that I would have gotten involved in it had I been around France in the year 1518. I can tell you
Yeah,
that with
I agree.
certainty I would have also been dancing. Otherwise, I don't really have any thoughts on it. I just think it's kind of fun.
It's a fun story,
Yeah.
and it's weird. It's weird enough to obviously talk about on the show and
Yeah.
share with you guys. What do you guys think about the dancing plague? Do you think that it was a revolution? Maybe you have some other fucking out there theory. Throw it out there because at this point, they're all on equal ground. We literally have no idea
Yeah.
why this happened.
None.
Um, yeah, throw it out there. I don't know. Like I said, I always thought it was a fun story. I learned about it. I'll tell you where I learned about this was because of the same band that I went to go see with the banana suit guy.
Yeah.
Electric Six has a song called Improper Dancing. And me and my best friend, it's kind of a thing for us to listen to Electric Six together. And one of us had found out about the dancing plague. And then we're like, oh my God, they were improperly dancing in the middle of the street. And anyway, so go listen to that song. It's pretty good, and they have guys in banana costumes show up to their shows. So
Love it. Absolutely
why
love it.
not? But anyway, on that note, then we'll see you guys back here next Wednesday.